Hey YouTube, it's Casey. This is a little bit late, but I wanted to do an update for 6 months on testosterone. I'm actually 3 weeks past that date because I'm not good at keeping on track of things, but so I just wanted to do kind of like a general rundown of all the changes that I've experienced so far being on testosterone since I started, was it July 22nd of last year. So I think the most noticeable change to an outside observer would be my voice, and that pretty much dropped after 4 months on testosterone. There's basically all the changes I'm going to be discussing happened after 4 months. Nothing really happened before then. So about a couple weeks, maybe like 4.5 months or so, my voice dropped, and that happened within like a couple of days. It happened all at once, basically, and there's been a couple of times after that where it dropped in like a little bit of increments, but basically since 4 months was the big drop. And I didn't have anything like cracking of my voice or anything. I noticed after it dropped the first time there were a couple of instances where it almost cracked, and I have this theory that when people's voice cracks, it's them trying to continue talking at the same pitch that they used to, and the voice can't handle it, so it kind of snaps. I have no idea, this is just my theory, because that's kind of what it felt like a couple times that it almost did for me, and then I adjusted my voice lower, and it stopped having that almost cracking feel to it. So I didn't have any experiences with it cracking, which is good, because that'd be embarrassing. Especially at my age, I don't need to be going around with my voice cracking. The second really noticeable thing is body hair. Mostly like, just kind of getting more hair growth, like little peach fuzz type things spreading out, so like where I had hair, it's just kind of like expanded, like, you can't see what I'm about to show you, but like on my arms, like, the bone is right here, and that used to be where the hair stopped, and now, if I turn my arm, this is where the hair stopped, and now goes in about like another inch or so, so it goes in like this far. I don't know if that makes sense. The hair is just kind of like spreading, and like my legs used to be a little bit patchy beforehand. On my calves there used to be like a bald patch on the back of both of them, which was like really awkward looking. That's since filled in, and my thighs have started to get hairy as well. So the hair thing is real. That's spreading. I'm getting a little bit of body fuzz on my stomach, so I guess that's happening, for better or for worse. In terms of facial hair, I'm not really expecting to ever get much of that. I've got like maybe a half a dozen really faint things on my chin that I tend to get rid of because it looks stupid. Men in my family can't really grow facial hair, so that's not something that I'm expecting to happen ever. It would be nice, it would help with the aging aspect and looking my actual age if I could grow facial hair, but I've kind of accepted that's something that's never really going to happen. Bad parts of testosterone. Acne is a real thing that happens. I never got acne at all during puberty. I would get like maybe 1 or 2 on my face every so often, and that was the worst of it. And I had plenty of my friends tell me that they were jealous of my skin throughout puberty because I didn't have any issues with like acne and stuff like that. That, however, seems to no longer be the case. My luck seems to have run out. I do get a little bit of acne on my face now. It's not really too bad. It's just, when you're used to nothing, I guess anything seems awful. So I get like a little bit like down around here sometimes. I have a little bit right now. Hopefully you can't really tell from the video, but who knows. My real issue with the acne is on my shoulder blades. Like, back here on both sides is just like covered, and it's really disgusting, and I don't really like to think about it too much because I can tell that it's going to be scarring over pretty badly, and I guess I should feel lucky that it's on a spot that's not visible to anybody else except for myself, but like, if I ever did decide to get top surgery, and then I'd be taking off my shirt, I'd be pretty self-conscious about it. So I have to start, I don't know, maybe next time I go visit my doctor in like a couple months from now for like the 1-year checkup for, make sure my hormones are getting regulated. Maybe I'll talk to her then about getting some sort of acne treatment, because last time I mentioned that it was like a little bit obnoxious, but I didn't feel like doing anything about it, but now that I'm thinking that it's like scarring over, I'm a little bit concerned. So that's been a not so pleasant aspect of being on testosterone. Over the summer, when I started it, I noticed that even though I didn't feel like I was getting very hot, I'd get like very sweaty, which I'd never had an issue with before, and it's a little bit gross. Also one of the negative aspects of testosterone, so even though I didn't feel hot, because I didn't think it never really got hot this summer, I did get plenty sweaty, and now that it's winter I'm not having that issue anymore, which is nice, but we'll see when summer comes around again. I don't know if that's something that's like just starting on a new hormone and like my body's getting used to it, or if that's just like something that's always going to be the case now. What else? I do pass a little bit better now that I've been on testosterone. I think that mostly boils down to my voice being deeper and not as high as it used to be, which is why I would like for it to continue to drop, ideally, a little bit more. I still do have issues with passing, and they're still obnoxious, but I feel like I don't have people come up to me quite as often asking me whether I'm a guy or a girl, so that's nice. I have noticed that even though I don't exercise and I don't do anything remotely athletic, that I have been seeing that like my muscles in my arms looked like they're a thing that exists, and it used to be that they weren't, and it's not like, ooh, I've got arm muscles, it's just like, oh, I can tell that there's a thing there that's controlling my arm. So it's kind of a weird thing, especially when in high school and middle school I was like so obsessed with like trying to get muscles, and then it's just like another one of those family traits that men in my family can't really build muscle mass. We're pretty skinny, but muscle mass, and we can potentially be strong. My brother and my father work out, but they're not able to gain muscle mass in the kind of bulky look that they would want. So that's just another generic family trait. Another thing is, seeing as I'm talking about the physical aspect, I'm a pretty skinny guy, and I didn't think that the fat distribution would do anything for me. So it's like, I don't really have any body fat. I'm not gonna see any body fat redistribution. But seeing as I do the shots in the fatty layer of my legs, I have noticed that the fatty layer of my legs has been disappearing. So that has been a little bit annoying, because I actually rather like doing subcutaneous shots as opposed to intramuscular ones, which I haven't done, but doing sub-Q I like them better, just because the needle's shorter and I feel like the absorption rate is better, but that's just from what my doctors told me, so I could be completely wrong. Anyway, so the leg fat in my muscles, the leg fat has been moving, and I don't know where it's moving to, because I can't seem to find it anywhere, but it's no longer on my thighs. So the last 2 injections, so the past 2 weeks, I've tried it in a new area. I've tried doing the injections kind of in like the upper butt, kind of lower muffin top area. I'm not really sure if there's a proper term for that, but that's the best area where I could find like any sort of squish on my body at the moment. I know that you can also do it in your stomach, but there's no more leg fat. There's no more fat in my stomach than there is on my legs, unfortunately, so I'm having some issues finding places to do that. I'm thinking within, maybe after a year or so of doing this, perhaps I'll switch over to like a testosterone-based gel and start that instead, because I'm running out of body fat. And also because I'm kind of tired of poking myself with a needle already, and it's not even been a year. Last thing I'm going to talk about is the hair pattern on the top of my head. I'm kind of hoping that it's changing. I don't know if it's just on my mind. I think it's probably not changing. I don't think it's anything visible. I can kind of see that, like, let me try and get closer, maybe I can describe this better. But, like, the very corner over here, I don't know if it's just the way my hair is cut, because it's really short on the sides and it's pretty long on top. But I'm thinking that it's starting to go in a little bit over here. I don't know if you can see that, and I don't know if that's just because I can't pull the sides of my hair back. Like, I've always had a kind of funny hair alignment, but I think maybe it's coming back a little bit right here. And this is kind of hard to do when the camera's reversed. I've got mixed feelings about that because on the one hand, I really do want to get a more masculine hairline and have it more like squared off as opposed to like more female hairline, which is rounder around the top. So on one hand, like, it's great that it's starting to square off, but on the other hand, there's like this tiny little voice in my head that's like, the reason that it's squaring off is because that hair is falling out of your head. And it's never growing back. Male pattern baldness is something that my family does have, and it is something I'm going to deal with. It's not going to be like completely bald, but it's going to be like basically no hair on the top of my head because it's so fine. So years down the line, I will be some sad person with a very lumpy, misshapen bald head. So that's kind of the beginning of that, which is a little bit scary. But I'm trying not to think about that too much because I'm thinking about the fact that it's becoming a more masculine hairline, and as it does, I can like try and style my hair so it's more off of my face than I ever have been comfortable with doing in the past. I usually have like my bangs covering my forehead or whatever it is that you call this long, fluffy stuff on top of my head. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really been any other major changes on testosterone as of yet. I haven't experienced any of the emotional or mental changes that some people talk about when they get on testosterone. And I think, personally, I think that some of that may be like almost a placebo effect. Like, people are so excited to get on testosterone and they're so pumped and they're so ready. And then, so when they finally get on it, like, their emotional well-being takes a turn for the better. And I didn't really have that, like, oh man, I can't wait to get on testosterone. Like, that's something I really gotta do. So, like, when I started, it's just like, okay, this is a thing that's happening and that I'm trying out for the current time. So, I haven't experienced any of those, like, emotional fluctuations that some people also talk about during, different stages after their injection every week or every other week, depending upon how often they take testosterone. So, I guess, in summary, the big changes that I've noticed since starting testosterone have been, I've gotten a little bit of body hair. Not a lot, not anything that's super visible to anybody else, but because it's my own body, I noticed it. My voice has gotten deeper. I think that looking through my YouTube videos, I can tell that it has changed, so that's exciting. That's the most exciting part to me, at any rate, right now. Getting some acne, mostly on my shoulders. It sucks, but there's not much to be done about that. Hopefully, in time, it'll kind of like cool down and relax and go away a little bit, like most people, I think, do after puberty. I'm not really sure. Adult acne is real. Any teenagers out there, your acne's never going away. No. But, so yeah, those have been the 3 major changes. And I'm trying to think of some new videos to put up. It's a little bit difficult with my housemates because I'm trying to be stealthier, so I don't want them to know I'm trans. I have to kind of work a time when I know that people are at work or at school or just out of the apartment. But hopefully I'll be able to get some more videos up in the future. Until then, peace.